How many of you have witnessed a car crash, know someone who has been in one, or maybe even been in one yourself? If the person survived or did not sustain life-threatening injuries, they were most likely wearing a seatbelt. Whether it be driving to school, work, or wherever we decide to enjoy the weekend, us college students are always on the go. And it is very important that we always wear one of the most simplest features in our car, which is the seatbelt. Ever since I was old enough to sit in the regular seat of the car, I have been taught to always wear my seatbelt. I'm very thankful my family instilled this in me because, along with my recent research and a personal tragedy that occurred in my own family, I have learned what can happen if you are not wearing a seatbelt in a car accident. Wearing a seatbelt is an extremely easy thing to do each time you are in or operating a moving vehicle. And it should always be worn to help prevent tragedy in case of a car crash. Hello everyone, I'm Gracie, and over the next few minutes, I will be talking about only a few reasons why you should always wear your seatbelt in a vehicle. First, let's learn about some of the seatbelt statistics and what can happen if you are not wearing one during a crash. According to a study from NHTSA, which is the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, accessed on March 9, 2020, in the article Seatbelt use and car crashes saved roughly 14,955 lives in 2017 alone, and that number of lives has climbed each year since. If those 14,955 people had not have been wearing their seatbelt, they would have been severely injured. They could have been ejected from the car onto the pavement, thrown around the car, if not out, or they could have sustained brain, neck, spinal, or internal injuries if not wearing one. An additional 2,549 lives could have been saved if they would have just buckled up. Most likely they were thrown out of the car or they died on impact because of life-threatening injuries. Wearing a seatbelt reduces risk that you'll be killed or sustain injuries by 50%. Now, let's talk about what the law says about wearing your seatbelt. According to the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency website accessed on March 9, 2020, in Section 32(5)(b)(4), every passenger shall have a safety belt properly fastened about his or her body at all times when the vehicle is in motion. If you do not obey this law, there are consequences that can be brought to you. Have you ever heard of click it ticket? This simply means that if you do not click it, you will get a ticket. The Alabama state fee for not wearing your seatbelt is $25, then you must add city and county fees. Overall, they range from $40 to $100. This is just an unnecessary bill that can be avoided. Car companies are required to install this safety belt by law. This means it must be important if they are absolutely required to do so. It's one of the simplest parts of your car, yet if it's not worn, it can be very deadly. Finally, I will be talking about a specific story, or two specific stories, of tragic car accidents that could have been easily avoided. The lack of seatbelt use has claimed many lives around us in the wiregrass, and even the life of one of my own family members. According to the WTVY News website accessed on March 9, 2020, on the article 3 high school students killed in Christmas crash, 3 Geneva high school girls' lives were taken in a very tragic car accident this past Christmas. It threw one of the young ladies up front because of the lack of seatbelt use. 3 of them passed away because of lack of seatbelt use. This was close to my hometown. I did not know these girls personally, but I knew ones who did, and it's very sad and can rip up families and communities. My granddaddy passed away when I was just 6 months old simply because he was not wearing his seatbelt. I never got the chance to know him because of this, and my family said he really loved his grandkids, so I missed out. He had recently just gotten over many health obstacles and was doing much better, which left my family with hope. But someone simply running a stop sign and his lack of seatbelt use is what got him. In conclusion, you should always wear a seatbelt because it could save your life one day. Whether it be the seatbelt statistics, what the law says, or all the tragic stories that hit a little too close to home, I hope this persuaded you all to wear your seatbelts. Wearing a seatbelt is such a simple task to do that could potentially save your life one day. We all know of that tragic car crash story. So I am asking all of you to please always wear your seatbelt and encourage others to do so as well, because it could save your life one day or someone else's. Thank you.